Ideals here, coming to you from the farmers market in Siena. I hope everyone is doing okay all over the world or wherever you're seeing me from. I am here in the Houston metro area, and I just wanted to come on and tell everybody that we are all praying for each other. I also lost power from Beryl. It took a few days for my power to come back. I had lost power about 3 o'clock Monday morning. That is when Beryl hit my area. Um, Luckily, I had some solar power generators that were fully charged, basically, that I learned about from Lead Farmer 73. So shout out to him and the information that he provides us. I really appreciate you, Lead Farmer. I was able to keep my refrigerator and my deep freeze cold for the 4 days. And one of the things that I like to iterate is that preparation is everything. I knew the storm was coming. Instead of relying on the solar panels to fully charge them, I plugged into my house current where they were fully charged for the power outage. So when it went out, again, it was at 3 something in the morning, you do have time. So that's when I got up and put my refrigerator on the generator. How did I know to wake up? Well, basically, my neighbor has a whole house unit, and that thing was so loud it woke me up. So when I woke up and I saw my lights were off, my clock lights were off, and I said, okay. So I took the power out. I got up and I used this little thing here. This little thing here to see around. I got my plug and I plugged my refrigerator in, and it kept it cold. And then when I really got up with daylight, I got my plug for my other generator that I got. It was a Blue Eddy, and I plugged my deep freezer into that, so it draws less power than the refrigerator. And basically, I was able to keep my stuff cold. One of the things that I didn't calculate for was the amount of heat that was going on, and based on that heat, because of that heat, my refrigerator was pulling more than what I calculated for, and I eventually ran out. It tapped out overnight, but again, it was still cold, so I took my generators to work, brought them up to 100%, brought them back home, and it still helped preserve the food in my refrigerator. Preparation is everything. Lead Farmer always says practice your preps, and have a plan B. Have a plan B. But I'm also glad that my power came back on late Thursday evening. So in this aftermath of Beryl, a lot of people are still without power. 2.26 million people in the Houston metro area lost power. I'm sure you've seen it on the news. Hi. I'm sure you've seen it on the news. And I think as of yesterday, there was still over, I think it was maybe like 800,000 people still without power. So we're talking about the storm came through Sunday night to Monday morning. Here it is Saturday, and there are still people without power. So in this case, the solar powered generators would have been taxed because it's been cloudy and not necessarily the sun has been strong enough to juice them up, power them up to 100% capacity. So there are a lot of people still suffering, so keep in mind, keep those people in your prayers. It's not easy being without power. It's not easy being without power when it's 98% humidity and it's 96, 97, 98 degrees outside and it feels like it's 107. So keep in mind all of those things. Say prayers for the people here in Houston and practice your crafts. Be prepared for some of these things. We've had this storm that was at, I believe it went up to a category 4 when it was going through the Caribbean, and we usually don't get that as a whole until like September, which is peak season. We're only up to B, people, to the letter B, and this is what's coming. So I'm not saying, I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just saying, prepare. Next time people might be without water. What are you doing about water? I grew up when they used to fill the bathtubs with water when a storm was coming, just to make sure you had some water to drink. Clean the bathtub out, steril it out, not using those little flappy things. They had like a whole plug in the drain so that you had water to drink, to cook. The wastewater from washing dishes was used to flush the toilet. And as weird as this may sound, if you're in an area that does not have city water, that doesn't require a pump, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. But then, there are other things you can do, like a porta potty or a homemade porta potty. I could go into that, but not today. But as an herbalist, consider the things that you can keep in your home that are readily edible. So if you can, you might want to learn to. Nuts, dry goods. If you have a grill, a barbecue grill or a propane grill, make sure those are gassed up for this summer. If you're halfway done, you don't know what's going to happen. Gas them up so that you can cook at a minimum. Find a way to preserve your food. I remember one person telling me years ago that if you wanted to prepare for hard times, you canned your freezer. So anything you had in your freezer, you canned it, like jar, canned it, so that you had it for hard times. Nothing goes to waste, right? Keep dried beans in your home, rice, potatoes, a lot of things that tend to have a long shelf life. Keep those things. My family and I, we did okay. My son and my dog, we did okay, in case anyone out there was curious that knows me on a personal level. We did okay. But again, what would happen if what this gave me a flashback of was the New York blackout in 1977, which was the first time that the city was actually paralyzed. The train stopped running. People were looting. It was pretty bad up there. But you watch the city go dark, just like it does in the movies when there's a power surge or something like that. Blah, blah, blah. It just spreads out from one place and keeps going. And then the entire city is dark. That's what it reminded me of, because that was the summer, and it was hot. You don't have a way to keep yourself cool. We're not used to being in heat because everyone has air conditioning and a controlled environment at 72 degrees. But here's the thing, if your body isn't used to handling heat, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay, get your body accustomed to some heat. I just heard on the news this morning that there were some fatalities from hyperthermia, people who got too hot and died from overheating in their homes. So strengthen yourselves. Being in air conditioning has caused us to be weak, and we need to ensure that we are fortifying our minds and our bodies to prepare for the worst, but hope for the best, and lean on each other to some extent, and just be wary. And I will talk to you another time about some of the things that I saw. It's pretty devastating. And there were there were things that I did not think that I would see, like happening. side of a house being pulled off. We need to come together more as a community and prepare for things. We've been here for quite some time and we've been through a lot. So say your prayers, do well, and take care. RLM Herbal Ideas coming to you from 5855 Sienna Streets Way, Missouri City, Texas.